Guys, and welcome back. In this lecture, we'll be learning about vectorizing. Okay, we'll learn how to vectorize an image in Adobe Illustrator. So that's how to turn an image into a vector illustration automatically. We don't have to draw the images manually. Okay, so it just happens automatically with Adobe Illustrator. So the first thing we have to do is to come and then place our image. So I'm going to use this image in the project folder, this girl's image. Okay, so open it up and just drag it out like this. Okay, and I'm just going to resize my artboard to fit my image. Okay, and then the vectorizing process kind of takes a toll on our computer. So in order to just explore all the features, I would like us to use a lower res image because this image is quite high res. So I would like us to use a lower res image and then come back to this one to finally do what I have in mind. So still come and place this tomato image. It's quite low res. Just come and place it so we can see all the options we have. So in order to vectorize an image, you go to Objects, Image Trace, and then Make. Automatically, we see that the image turns into a vector image, right? Now, the next thing you have to do is to just come to this place, to your properties panel, and where you see image trace, you see where it says presets. Okay, so now currently we have the default preset set. You just click here, and we're going to have the image trace panel out. Okay, and then when we have this out, you see up here we have a number of presets which we can choose and go with immediately. And we also have the ability to create settings or to choose presets and kind of change their parameters. Okay, so I'm just going to go through some of these presets so you see how they work automatically. Okay, so this first one is called the auto color. So it's just going to create an automatic vectorization with colors. And then we have the presets here where we can modify, right? We can modify the number of colors. Do we want less colors or do we want more colors? Okay, now you see what we have with more colors. We have more details, right? And with less colors, let's say 4 colors, we have just very few details. We just have 4 colors, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 or something like that. But when we have more colors, we definitely have more details. Okay, now you can see this one is looking almost like the original image. And we then have this other guy, which is a high color preset. Okay, now you see this one gives us 85 colors. Okay, and it's very detailed. We almost will not know that it's a vectorized image when we look from afar. Then we have this guy, which is the low color. Okay, low color just gives us 16 colors. Then we have the grayscale, which turns it into a grayscale illustration. Then we have this guy, which is the black and white, which turns it into a black and white illustration. Then we have this guy, which is the outline, which turns it into an outline illustration. Okay, and for all of them, we have what we call threshold. Okay, for these colors, we just have colors, not threshold. Okay, but when we just come to default, for example, we have what we call threshold. So the threshold kind of determines how much of detail we want. Okay, how much of our original image we want. Okay, so now this is black and white and we have a low threshold, so the image is almost disappearing. But when we have a high threshold, we're going to have more of our image. Okay, then we now have let's say we choose default, and then for this one we have what we are going to view. Okay, are we going to view the tracing results? Are we going to view tracing results with outlines? Okay, so it's going to put out the tracing result and then create outlines around the edges. Okay, and then for this one, are we going to just view just the outlines, and then are we going to view the outlines with the source images so we can see where our vectorization is happening in our original image? Okay, and then are we going to choose just the source image? Okay, so that's what this guy is. And we can use this I button here to toggle between the source image and the present vectorized results. Okay, So when we hold, we see the original image, and when we release, we see our result. And then we have the mood here. Of course, right now it's black and white, right? Because of the presets we've chosen. And we have the threshold, like I showed you before. And then we have this advanced option, and just come under this option here, and then you see where you say ignore, you're going to see that it ignores the white, ignore white. Okay, we're going to see that it ignores the white, and then kind of makes it a transparent something. Now if you go up, take it above an image, you see that it's transparent, right? That's because we no longer have any white. That's how this guy works. And for these other ones, we're going to see little detail adjustments. Okay, like for the part, when we take it to high, we're going to see details on the parts, right? Okay, and when we take it to low, we are going to see that there are no much details. Okay, and also this one for corners, it's going to create little adjustments to our corners. You can see the updates happening, right? Then for noise, when we have more noise, all of these are just kind of to create more details to our illustration or our vectorized image. Okay, now we have this other preset here, which is maybe 3 colors. Let's say 3 colors. It breaks down our image into 3 colors. It vectorizes our image into 3 colors, and we can actually adjust the number of colors. Let's say 10. Okay, and now we see what's happening, right? And we still have our advanced options here to play with. We have this one to toggle between the tracing result and the source image. Okay, and now we have the palette, we have limited, we have full tone, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm just going to take it back to limited, and then we then choose, let's say, 6 colors, and it just adds 3 more colors to our 3 colors, and 16 colors adds 10 more colors to our 6 colors. Okay, so it's going to be more detailed, right? And then we have shades of gray. All these are just presets. Okay, and then we have black and white logo. Okay, and then we have sketched art. So the sketched art automatically removes white. So you can see that ignore white is active here. Okay, and we have the threshold where we can actually adjust the threshold, right? Then we now have silhouette. We see the effect. And we have line art. Okay, it just creates an illustration with lines around our edges. And we have technical drawing. Okay, you might not want to use some of these presets. I'm just going to delete this guy, and now you get the point, right? So select your image, and right from here, you don't really have to always go to objects. Okay, you don't really have to always go to objects and then image trace. You can do it right from here. You can just come select your image and then select the one you want. I just want to start with the 3 colors. Okay, and it's telling us that tracing may proceed slowly with this large image. Would you like to continue? And okay, so it's going to take some time because the image is high res, and when it's done, we're going to have our image traced. And good, now you can see that we now have our image vectorized into 3 colors. Okay, we can divide it into 3 colors: 1, 2, and 3. Okay, perfect. And we can have more if we want. Let's choose 6 colors and see what we get. So it's going to take some time, and we're going to have our results. Perfect. Now we see that we are now given 6 shades of colors. Okay, our illustrations have been breaking down into 6 colors, and cool. I kind of like this, but I want to try other presets. Let me try taking this to 10. Okay, 10 colors. So the higher the colors, of course, the longer it takes, right? Yeah, perfect. Now we have 10 colors assigned to, okay, we actually have 30 here. I don't know why it's give us 30 colors. I actually wanted it to be 10, but I'm just going to work with what we have anyways. So now we see what we have now, and I kind of like it. I'm just going to come here and ignore white. Okay, so it's going to remove all the white spaces. Yeah, so all the white places have been removed. Now, if I have a background, if I create a background and send it to the back, you then see that these places are now black, right? And now my background color. So I'm just going to assign my background a very subtle color. I think I'll go with this color and just kind of adjust it like this. And here we now have our image traced. We now have our vector illustration from our image. Now selecting the image, if you want to conclude things, just come here to expand, and then now we have it officially as vector drawings. So we can ungroup, and we now see that we have the ability to kind of select different parts, right? Select different parts. Okay, different parts of our drawing. Okay, perfect. And I just want to come and create another image on top, and maybe change the blend mode to maybe darken or multiply. Or let me just play around with the blend modes to see which one I would like to go with. Yeah, maybe overlay. Okay. So I like this blend mode. Let me try changing the color. So I'll just go with this guy. I'll go with this guy. And yeah, maybe we then add a text or something. I love dogs. Then give this a title case, and then just come and choose a cursive font. You know what? I'm going to just create a filter and filter all the fonts by the cursive type, and then choose from the many cursive fonts I have on my computer. Love dogs. So I think I'll just go with this one. Okay. And then we do something like this. Review the size. Maybe change this I to we. We love dogs. Increase the size of dogs. Okay. Perfect. So I can now close this panel. And yeah, I kind of like what we have so far. maybe even give it a drop shadow, right? Maybe give it a drop shadow. Okay. Instead of black color, maybe we give it dark purple color, then reduce the blur. Okay. Just reduce the offset. Hit OK. Yeah, guys. So I'm gonna leave it like this, and I like what we have so far, what we've made so far. So, guys, feel free to import your images and try creating some cool stuff. I would love to see what you can come up with. In the next lecture, we're going to be taking an assignment, and that will be it for this one. See you in the next one. Bye bye.